Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. My name is Breakaway Ray. I invite everyone to pay attention to whatever they're paying attention to. Well, why don't we start off right away with the tarological forecast for the week. Let's go to the tarot cam. That's right. To get you ready for your work week, I'm going to throw 10 cards for you, 2 cards for each of these days to get you all ready for your week. This is all for entertainment purposes only. These cards are for you all week long or anytime you choose to use them. Whenever you tune in, even if it's like months and months from now or even years from now, this video is still around. These cards are for you. I'm sure you'll learn a lesson, because these are timeless messages that the tarot world sends us. So I want to say good morning to the tarot world. This stuff's going to blow around while I shuffle. We'll fix it in a minute. Thank you, tarot world, for joining us this morning here in California. We're ready to throw some cards to get our friends watching STARCARD Podcast ready for their week. Got all 5 of the workday days set up on my little sentence strip. We're going to shuffle some cards, throw out some pairs, and tell some stories. Here we go. These cards are for you, everybody. This is the first card. We're going to start off here on Monday off the top of the deck. We'll take the last card off the bottom for Friday. Let me adjust my camera. That's a little bit better. Here we go. Don't worry, I'll sort all these out in a minute. Let's continue throwing some cards. All right. Thank you very much, Tarot World, for making my job easy. Got Monday and Tuesday so far. Wednesday. Thursday. Ooh, 2 right there. Look at that. Can't wait to see that draw. And 1 more for Friday. Here we go. Let's get it all set up. Tarological forecast board. Monday, Tuesday. There we go. That's what I want. All right. Let's have some fun. What's happening on Monday? Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. The first card we're throwing today is the Star Card. That's for you, everybody. So let's go ahead and read what it says on the glass for the Star Card. Hope, calm, faith, purpose, renewal, spirituality, fortune, good omen, rejuvenation. Isn't that how a lot of us feel when we're starting off the work week? I hope so. And then, of course, the 2 of Swords is the Crossroads card. I think that the tarot world is very quickly saying, have hope, have faith, look forward to having a good week, because even though you might encounter a decision and you may not have all the information, you may not know which way to go, just be calm. When all the information comes in, you got all the tools you need to choose correctly. And that would be, of course, listening to your intuition. Another hint from the Star Card. How wonderful. Great. Monday's going to look good already. Let's go on. Oh, speaking of like looking on and looking forward, there's the Page of Wands. On Tuesday, he says we have limitless potential, and the Emperor says control. So, this is almost another manifestation message. If you imagine, just for example, if you start planting this seed in your mind right now that on Tuesday, I'm going to have unlimited control, guess what? The subconscious is going to set up your Tuesday so that you have limitless potential for control. I kind of like these messages. Let's see what happens on Wednesday. All right. So on Wednesday, we wake up with the 9 of Swords. There's a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of a restless night, but it doesn't matter because we're going to follow it up with a fresh start on Wednesday morning with the Fool card. It's a new beginning. Every day is a new day. We're going to put this behind us because we're ready to strike out. What's the expression I like here on the Fool card? Hang on a second. It's spontaneous optimism. That's right. You might as well smile at everybody. You're going to be surprised at how you get the best out of everybody with a smile. Thursday. All right, it's another message of soldier on, everybody. The Three of Swords shows up and says that there's heartache on Thursday. Maybe it's just a long week by Thursday. But the Knight of Wands says, charge forward. You're being carried by the spirit of the spirit world. Your spirit guides are enabling you to go in the right direction in an energetic manner. So, despite your pain, soldier on. And what does Captain America say in one of those Avenger movies? If you die, walk it off, right? Keep going. I like it. These are good inspirational messages. I'm only giving the tarot world 2 cards to do this. And then on Friday, I love it. On Friday, we got the Magician and the Queen of Swords. So by Friday, we will have created magic. And the Queen of Swords says, yeah, that's right. All right. How about that for a tarological forecast? Hey, everybody, have a good week. Look, we started with the star card, and that's right, says the Queen of Swords. Let's give these cards a quick shuffle. Thanks for joining me again today. Thanks for participating in the chat. Of course, it helps me know that I'm recording. So, I want to tell you what's going on because some of you are anxious for the personal readings. That's going to happen during the second part of the show. I'm guessing around minute 30, maybe a little bit beyond minute 30 if I can stick to my notes. But what I want to do is tell you what I do have on the agenda. I'm going to show you some art projects that I'm wrapping up. I'm going to wrap up one of them right in front of you. Then I'm going to tell you about a book called The THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA Prophecy by Samuel Chong. Then we'll invite the tarot world to give us a commentary on that book. And I think I have a surprise. But anyway, let's go back down to the table here and check out some art. All right, looking good. So you may have been around when I showed this in a previous STARCARD podcast. This was an assignment where you color and cut out something and it ends up being one of the colonists' first homes, right? And then, I went ahead and did it. You can see the roof right there, and I colored it. It's 3-dimensional. It's got a little window. All right. And so that you can enjoy my artwork, I'm going to put it right over here. We'll just go like that. Yeah, you can kind of see. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. All right, great. Nicely done. Okay, and then I know maybe not everyone is as excited about this as I am, but remember this diorama that we started with? It comes out with a witch flying through the middle there. Well, I went ahead and finished the coloring. I want to show you how it came out. So first of all, you could see that I colored the leaves, alternately different colors. And sometimes I got to use a marker, and that made it look cool because the marker really stands out. And then you might recognize the colors of the rainbow behind, where I would take this art lesson and turn it into a science lesson and talk about the spectrum and the colors of visible light that we can see. And then I also went ahead and did this for the very background. And then I had to be careful about what I colored on the part where the witch flies because it had to line up with the bats, right? And then don't forget that this is not even, right? The back paper is longer than the witch paper here. So it's going to look 3-dimensional when I staple it all together. You can see that on the side, I wrote Roy G. Biv's name. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. I did the best I could with the colors I could find around the house. All right, so let's go ahead and I wonder if this looks better for you with my light on. A little bit better. There's not too much glare. That's good. So sorry about that. Maybe I should have done that with the light on. Here you go. So one more time. The bats I colored with a pen. And then again, the lovely forest scenery at sunset. So let's get it together here and assemble it and see how it comes out. I would always start this project, but then I would ask for help finishing it because I had other things to do. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I ever finished it all the way through without any help. Let's get the stapler. Okay, and so now comes the tricky part to staple it. I got to bring all the edges together, and that's going to bend the papers in the back. All right, and now that I put it all together, you can see how cool that looks when it's on the desk, right? Got some fun optics going on there. All right, so I'm going to put this away. Thanks for letting me share that. All right, and now let me just check my notes here. All right, so we did the tarological study. We just saw the cabin and the Halloween diorama. All right, so I'm going to tell you some jokes now. So before I tell you some jokes, I was on Julia Anchorhaven's show yesterday, and if you go to the description, you can find the link. She did a lovely interview. We had a good time talking about all kinds of fun stuff. And I got to share some of the humor from my book because I'm Breakaway Ray, and I'm also R. Snow. I'm the author of Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. Here it is, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. There's a link to this in the description as well. So I was talking about this book yesterday, and I got to read some jokes that I wrote. And so now I have some jokes. Yeah, you guys tuned in on a good day. I've got some jokes that I've never done on the internet before. That's right. You really came in on a good day. And these jokes were from a talent show skit that I used to do about a wizard from the future. Now, if you're watching STARCARD podcast in 2025, you're like, wizard from the future, big whoop. Well, I came up with this character before I really knew that there were wizards and before that there was time travel. So I was pretending I couldn't find a picture. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the picture. I got the gray beard, the gray hair. I look like an old wizard. I'm wearing a gown. I'm up on stage and I'm doing this monologue as if I'm a wizard from the future. But in any case, the wizard from the future, he predicts the future. He tells the future about, students in the school. And you may remember, or you may not know, I don't know, but my previous career, I was in the classroom. I had a good time being a school teacher in elementary school. And so this was an elementary school skit that I did where I asked the children and their parents for permission to tell about their future, and they agreed. Now, I've changed all the students' names for the internet here because these are still fun jokes to read. I wanted to find a picture of the wizard on stage doing his thing, but I couldn't because I like making eye contact with you, obviously, but I'm going to have to look down at my script to make sure I don't mess up my lines. So here we go. Oh, yeah, let me tell you who these stars are, these 5 students that I'm talking about. There's one named Caitlin, and she's good at gymnastics. The next one is named Jay. He's in 5th grade. The next one is Sammy. Now, when we were every year we would have spirit days, and one of the spirit days we would have would be called Crazy Socks Day. And Sammy liked wearing crazy socks so much that he didn't care if it wasn't Crazy Socks Day. Sammy would wear crazy socks every day. Right, so I'm going to be paying attention to that and come up with something clever to say about that. So I made Sammy part of the act. So Sammy likes to wear crazy socks. Next up, there was a girl named Sherry, and she was a big Harry Potter fan. And then the last one is the whole reason why I get to do this today. There's a boy named Robert. He's kind of a chatterbox. He likes to talk a lot. And I tell his future where he gets abducted by aliens. And that's going to lead me to the next part of our show today, and also leads me to the next part of the description, by the way. We'll be talking about a book called The Golden Prophecy. Excuse me. Let me take a quick. It's called the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA Prophecy, The Golden Planet. I put the link in the description, but it's not a link to the book. It's a link to the translator of the book, Samuel Chong. And Samuel Chong is on the Typical Skeptic podcast. Now, I quickly looked on the internet for this link to Typical Skeptic podcast. I also see that Samuel Chong has done many, many, many interviews. And by the way, I'm including Samuel Chong in with everybody else, like Rob at Typical Skeptic podcast, like Giordano Bruno, like Pythagoras. These are all people that are setting the table for us all as we go into the age of Aquarius. They're giving us knowledge we need to know about life off planet, both the outer universe and our inner worlds. So anyway, remember the last joke here is about an alien abduction. All right, so here I go. In the future, fourth grader Caitlin will win a gold medal for gymnastics in the 2180 Antarctic Olympics at age 172. In the future, no one will call fifth grader Jay by his first name. They will only use his first initial. In the future, Jay will grow up and marry a woman named Kay. They will have a daughter named Elle. When Elle grows up and goes away to college and does not come home for the holidays, it will be a sad Christmas with no Elle. In the future, third grader Sammy, famous for always wearing crazy socks, even when it is not Crazy Socks Day, will surprise everyone by growing up, going to college, and becoming a doctor. Congratulations in advance, Sammy. Good for you. Yes, that's right. In the future, Sammy will become a doctor in two fields: psychiatry and podiatry. In the future, fourth grader Sherry will apply to Hogwarts School for Witchcraft and Wizardry. Sadly, her application will be turned down because she does not meet the height requirement. Finally, in the future, on October 20th, 2025 at 6:01 p.m., famously friendly and talkative fifth grader Robert will be abducted by aliens. When the aliens try to communicate with Robert, they find it easier than they expected. In fact, the aliens discover that they cannot stop Robert from communicating. The aliens return Robert on October 20th, 2025 at 6:03 p.m. Hey, everybody, I had fun doing that. All right, so now let's talk. Oh, wait a second. I think I'm so funny. I also believe the tarot world has a sense of humor. So I'm going to invite the tarot world to give us a setup and a punchline. They've heard mine. I wonder if the tarot world would like to respond in kind. Let's go to the tarot cam. All right, hello, tarot world. You've shown me many times that you have a sense of humor. I just tried to be funny just now by making fun of little kids. Hey, tarot world, I invite you to give us your best material. We got a bunch of people tuning in. Show us your stuff. Hey, tarot world, give us a setup and a punchline, please. I don't care if you want to call a friend and get Henny Youngman down here and Rodney Dangerfield. That's fine with me. And get Greg Giraldo while you're at it. That guy's hilarious. Or Mitch Hedberg. Can't forget that guy. All right, tarot world, here we go. Let's hear your setup. And how about a punchline? You're going to tell us something funny. I don't care if you make fun of me. We're all having fun here. This is for entertainment purposes only. Bring it, tarot world. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Tarot World. So the Knight of Wands talks about charging out onto the stage energetically. And look, he's got that giant wand. You know, that's a good joke. He's bringing his best material. And then the King of Wands tells you the setup. It's the big picture. And then, look, he's playing to the crowd, says the Three of Pentacles. See, it's making me laugh. The tarot world's telling us about, stand-up comedy routine here. Hey, thank you very much. All right, here comes what I think is just more punchline. Here we go. There's some give and take with the audience, says the Six of Pentacles. There's no heckling. No one heckles the tarot world. Okay, everybody loves the tarot world. Okay, and then the Four of Swords means he's putting everybody at ease. Everybody's relaxed. Everyone's feeling rejuvenated after a great night of laughing really hard, because laughter is the best medicine, right? And then finally, it's the Seven of Swords. Something's hidden. I suppose that's really just the tarot world walking off stage. And what has he got? I guess they call it I forget what they call it. There's a movie with a title about magicians. But anyway, when the comedian walks off the stage, he's carrying with him something that's hidden, and that's like a good feeling. He takes your laughter and applause with him, and he treats it in a valuable manner. It's valuable to him. That's what he works for. Or if it's a female comedian, what she works for. Well, I kind of like that snapshot of a stand-up comedian's life from the tarot world. You got to say they're pretty creative, right? Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you, tarot world. Now, next up, it's the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy. I actually have this book. Here we go. The THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy, the golden planet. You can raise your hand if you've read this book before. I'm just kidding. I can't see your hands unless you want to do that hand emoji thing in the chat. Then I could see it, I guess. But anyway, before I tell you about the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy, which involves alien abduction, okay, I want to tell you about another alien abduction that I know about from another secret space program experiencer. So here we go. I've spoken about a few, or I'm going to say, up to about a dozen secret space program experiencers. I've mentioned them several times. One of them is Daryl James. And Daryl James has an interesting part of his testimony where he's a musician. I believe he plays more than one instrument, but I think he knows how to play guitar. And when the aliens that he worked with, these would be what we would call Pleiadians. They're out on the planet Taygeta. It's another star system. When he was out there with them, they didn't have music like we have it here on Earth's surface. So he was tantalizing and mesmerizing these people with the way he could play music. And then they said, well, you know what? You got to teach our kids how to do that stuff. But I don't have all the details memorized. I don't speak for Mr. James. I certainly salute him and I praise him for his testimony and his candor and being honest and letting us know what's going on. He's another one that's helping us out, all get ready for this big transition where we don't have to pretend like there's nothing going on out there, okay? Everyone can see it. Everyone knows it. We're all moving ahead. Things are changing, frequency-wise, chemically-wise, the way our brains operate, energy-wise. I already said that part. All right, so anyway, here's Daryl James. He already pilots a gigantic alien spaceship, and he's apparently kind of busy, siring hybrid children with 600 Taygetan princesses. So what he does is he says, I know someone who could teach you music. It's my own music teacher. So he gets in the spaceship. He goes down to Earth. He finds his music teacher, and he explains to his music teacher, here's a great chance for you to teach music to aliens on another planet, and you won't miss anything. You'll be back here like in a couple hours or a couple of days. Just leave a note for your family. You went away for the weekend. You'll be back on Sunday. But really, it would be one of those things almost like a 20 and back, the 20 and back experience where, they would take him away and then they would use time travel. And when he's done with 20 years or teaching music to everybody out there, the music teacher would return to his regular life. And that would be a hard sell, except that here was Daryl James himself, the former student, in like a brand new body. He didn't age and he had this spaceship. So, it was a very convincing offer. And I believe the music teacher took it. So we wouldn't really call that an abduction, right? That's like a handshake. That's like, yeah, I'll go for it. That sounds like a cool deal. Tony Rodrigues didn't get that deal. There's lots of secret space program experiencers who don't get that deal, right? Some of them are just taken. I presume, this is my opinion, the more powerful they are psychically, the less of a choice they have. They're looking for the brightest and the best out there, and they'll conscript whoever is the brightest and the best. So there's that little story about an almost friendly abduction, if you will, an agreed upon vacation where someone didn't miss any time here on Earth. Where, again, the music teacher, Daryl James's music teacher, he just left a note for his family. I'll be back in a couple of days. Everything's fine. See you real soon. Anyway, back to the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy. This book was translated by Samuel Chong. It's actually written by a man whose name is Mishlove. I think I read that correctly. At least it's hard to see when it's kind of a little dim here early in the morning in California, but I don't like the lights anyway. Anyway, everybody, if you want to, the link is in the description, right? So he tells the same kind of a story. He's in Vietnam, and then for some reason his mind gets taken over, and he says, "I got to leave a note for my family." He leaves a note for his family. I think I can read it to you. Something like, "I'm going to be gone for 10 days. I'll catch up with you in a little while." And in this case, I don't know if there's a time loss or anything like that. It was actually like a 10-day trip, but he gets taken away with the people from THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA. And they may have a relation to the Nephilim who lived here on Earth. It's a very, a lot of people call it science fiction, and that's how it's selling in China. As a matter of fact, it's being sold as a science fiction book. But if you're of the mind that it's true, there's a lot in this book that reorganizes the way you think about reality here on Earth and a lot of historical events. So I think what I can do is I can read like the first paragraph, like the note that he left his family before he went off with these THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA. And another thing we'll say about these THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA is that they're like 9 feet tall. And if I remember this correctly, they are hermaphrodites. They are male and female. And they have great psionic abilities. They're several dimensions above us. One of the few planets out there that's way above us. And because they're older and more mature and more advanced, it's up to them to be responsible and help out planets like Earth, ascend to their next level. So here's another step in disclosure for the age of Aquarius. Even Mishlove is the guy setting the stage for us, setting the table for us, so we can, dine on the delicious feast of disclosure. So let me see if I can find that fun paragraph for you where he leaves a note for his family. And then there's levitation in this book. There's he has an out-of-body, by the way, he has an out-of-body experience as soon as he gets in the spaceship. They take his soul out of his body because I think they have to purify it. And so his soul is kind of like roaming around the ship while they're working on his body. But by the time they get to the golden planet, his soul and his body are reunited. Even though he's a little bit disoriented, he's still having a good time. Nevertheless, let's see if I can find that part for you, everybody. It's like right in the front here. This guy gets right. This is an easy read. It is. It can be mind blowing, but at the same time, it is an easy read, and that helps it blow your mind more. It's very easy to understand what they're trying to say. Look at that. Even the title is Abduction. The title of this chapter is Abduction. See if I can quickly find the letter. Yeah, here he goes. I took off my pajamas and dressed in trousers and a shirt. Why, I had no idea. Neither can I explain why I went to my desk, took a sheet of paper and a bureau and watched myself write as if my hand had a mind of its own. Open quote, my dear, I'll be away for about 10 days. Absolutely no need to worry, close quote. After writing that note, he proceeds to go outside and get in a spaceship. All right. So again, when you have writers and artists and secret space program testimony, all setting up a table for us, stacking the textbooks on our desk on the first day of school. This is what you're going to study. Okay, this is good news for us. I feel like the tarot deck is speaking here. This is good news that we have all this information and that there are many podcasters. You just found one of them. There are many podcasters trying to share this with everybody because we all have to move ahead together. So let me just check my notes and make sure I'm not leaving anything off before I ask the Tarot World for its comment on the Golden Prophecy book here. So yeah, it's like, so I'm going with the theme of Aquariapalooza. So flashing back to the 1990s, I went to the very first 2 Lollapalooza concerts, and now the Palooza suffix goes good anywhere. And here we are in the age of Aquarius, and who are all these people on stage for us? Well, we've talked about Pythagoras, we've talked about other Hermetic scientists like Nostradamus and Giordano Bruno. these guys laid the groundwork that we can all study right now. Even people who worked in the 1970s, like Ingo Swann and Dolores Cannon, they, wrote a couple of textbooks for us to use as well. And then we already mentioned the Secret Space Program experiencers. They have the most current information, and that's good news because we're behind and we got a lot of catching up to do. Just want to check my notes one last time, and I think we're ready to go here. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to ask the tarot world to comment on the golden prophecy and the whole idea of Aquariapalooza, all this big cascade of information, whether it's pre-digested from me or raw and uncut on some other experiencers' channels. Okay, this is like good news for us, right? Tell us what to do, tarot world. What's the syllabus look like? Let's go to the tarot cam and find out. Here we go. We're inviting the tarot world to comment on the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy and Aquariapalooza. I should have made a post-it note for Aquariapalooza, huh? Hey, I see there's a lot of fun writing going on in the chat. I want to thank you very much for everyone's participation. I really appreciate it. We're going to get to your readings in a moment. Right now, we're inviting the tarot world to comment on Aquariapalooza and the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy. Gee, they almost rhyme. I know I can write a poem about this. Give me a couple of days. Tarot world, now is your turn. Did I miss anything in my notes? Is there something else we should pay attention to regarding Aquariapalooza, the cascade of information from experiencers and digesters like me and podcasters? Is there anything you want to share along with the Golden Prophecy book? Thank you very much. You write a good script, tarot world. The THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA prophecy, the golden planet, the 9th planet. Michelle Desmarquet. All right. These look like nice cards. Let's see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to just flip all over 3 at once here. Nice. Okay. So the Page of Wands talks about limitless potential, right? Knowledge is power. Again, that message of charging forward energetically, especially people who are tuned in on their own soul's path. If you know which direction to go full force. And then guess what? The 10 of Cups says there's not only divine love with the spiritual world, but the 10 of Cups also talks about dreams coming true. For people like me, big Star Trek and Star Wars fans, science fiction fans, it is almost like a dream come true, except it's the real world. Disclosure is the real world. Learning about it is the real deal. Okay, next up, the Knight of Pentacles talks about hard work, but being productive and efficient. I want this guy on my staff. I don't care what my business does or what my organization does. I want this hardworking, efficient, nose to the grindstone knight working on my staff. Yeah, we got the 10 of Cups, and now we got the 9 of Cups, which is the wish come true card. I think there's something else on this card. Hang on a second. Wish come true, contentment, satisfaction, emotional stability, luxury, and gratitude. Let's get these over. Wow. Okay. So we talked about how the disclosure is going to lead us to a Star Trek present, not a Star Trek future, a Star Trek present. It's going to be a dream come true. Okay. Michelle Desmarquet already experienced that when he had his little quote unquote abduction. And now when you consider all that knowledge, that kind of knowledge from his book, The THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA Prophecy, translated by Samuel Chong. Okay. We got a lot of hard work in front of us to make our wish come true. And again, another message about a big burden. But then the Two of Swords says, we're almost like, it's called the Crossroads card, right? But you've got one foot in the present now, the dumbed down world where there's no such thing as anti-gravity and there's no such thing as frequency healing and things like that. There's no such thing as a spirit world, okay? You got that foot in that world, but meanwhile, you're about to set foot in the other real world, which you can't really see so well because the Two of Swords lady is blindfolded. But nevertheless, we all need to feel confident because, again, knowledge is power. We have tools in our hand if we have knowledge. And look, both hands have the tools that we need. So no matter what decisions we come to, we're going to be prepared thanks to the knowledge that's shared in books like the Golden Planet, the THROW-AQUARIAPALOOZA Prophecy. Thank you very much, Tarot World. Congratulations. You are an expert on all subjects. I'm not surprised. All right, let's check out who would like a tarot reading. I'm so glad you could join me. You know, you're creating part of your day. For me, it's Sunday. You should be with your families. I don't want to keep you, but I'm just half teasing. I love being here. I'm glad you're asking for tarot throws. Let me get a piece of paper and a pen here. All right, so I see, hey, Flixlove, I think I just saw you. Welcome back. I got you down for a tarot reading. So, hey, everybody. Sometimes people get clever and they put in all capital letters, I just want 1 card, or I just need 3 cards. You know, if that's your preference, let me know. Also, again, if you put in all capital letters, I'll see it if like there's a subject that you want me to pay attention to when I throw. You know, you can put in all capital letters, but I think the tarot world knows what you want to talk about. All right, next up, number 2. Hey, Maria Madrigal. Good to see you again. I'm writing you down. Number 3 was Maria Madrigal. Is there another number 3? Okay. Oh, Maria Madrigal, reading, please. No family today. Okay. Well, yeah, we're going to get you a reading. There we go. Hey, Danica, I just happened to see your message. Welcome to the show, Danica. I'm going to write you down. I'll get you a couple of cards. I appreciate you inviting me to read. Okay. Hi, Spider Bite. All right, now I'm going to scroll up and see if there's anyone else I'm missing here. I'm just checking to see if I'm missing any of these requests. Jason. Hey, Jason. Thanks for dropping by. I'm going to write your name down, Jason. Yeah, cool. Sally Forth. Hi, Sally Forth. I see your message. I got a reading for you, too. And yeah, got it. All right, so I have Flixlove, Maria Madrigal, Danica Crabtree, Jason H., and Sally Forth. So we'll go in that order for now. And we're making good time. There's plenty of time, everybody. All right. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. First up, it's Flixlove. Here we go, Flixlove. Yeah, Flixlove had a quite exciting and dynamic and dramatic reading last time around. But here we go, Flixlove. Let's get you another reading. These cards are for our friend Flixlove. Right on, yeah. Thank you for the help, Tarot World. Can we throw some cards for Flixlove, please? A helpful, fun message for Flixlove. Here we go. These cards are for Flixlove. Longtime supporter from the Typical Skeptic podcast. Thank you, Flixlove. These cards are for Flixlove. Here we go. This is for entertainment purposes only. All right, Flixlove, it's the 8 of Cups. It's the Walk Away card. And on the Walk Away card, it says disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal, escapism, walking away, leaving behind. Next up, the 8 of Wands talks about flight. It talks about travel, but also talks about it's happening right away or it's happening right now. So there's going to be some walking away soon. Then when you walk away, the 3 of Cups says it's time to celebrate. I love it. That's a great way to start the week. But we're not done. Hey! And then the 3 of Pentacles talks about collaboration. This is a fun, healthy row of cards here. The 3 of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, learning, implementation, building something. I feel like you got this card last time because it was talking about building something, and I know you're working on a big project. So you're going to walk away from something, and then when you do that, the party is going to happen soon on this thing that you're building with other people, or anyway with your team. And then the Temperance card shows up, and I like how there's an angel involved, and the angel's keeping everything balanced. Let's read what it says on Temperance: balance, harmony, moderation, patience, being sensible, purpose, and finding meaning. And then, wow, the Tower card shows up. Sudden change. I think sudden change is all we need there. Sudden change, maybe awakening, sudden recognition, perhaps, and sudden insight. You stay cool while your video blows up on the internet. And then once that happens, all the orders are going to come in, says the 10 of Wands. Cool. I like it. I hope that was fun and interesting. And again, I wish you luck, Flix Love, with your project. I know you're going to tell us more about it when you're ready. All right. Next up, Maria Madrigal. It's great to have so many friends around the planet all keeping each other company here in the chat at StarCard Podcast. I want to thank everyone for being kind to each other, and thanks especially for being kind to me. Here we go. These cards are for Maria Madrigal. Maria Madrigal and I had some fun talking about Northern California. I don't go there often, but we did have some fun chatting about it in one of the videos that I posted recently. Thanks, Maria Madrigal. I feel like maybe you're a bookworm a little bit like me. I mean, you know about old books and how knowledge changes over years. Sometimes it doesn't even take a year, does it? Ask Winston from Orwell's 1984. These cards are for Maria Madrigal. How about a fun, helpful message for Maria Madrigal, please? Maria Madrigal. These cards are for Maria Madrigal. Fun, helpful message for Maria Madrigal, please. All right. Thank you, Tarot World. You know you're going to make somebody's day. You do it all the time. Here we go. Oh, I'm glad I turned them over all at once. So I think, you never get a second chance to make a first impression, right? So maybe I should have just revealed this very slowly and just done this first card first. It's the Sun card. Everything's going to be all right. Let's read everything it says on the Sun card. Positivity, pleasure, happiness, vitality, fun, joy, warmth, celebration, success, rebirth. All is well. That's how I feel when Maria Madrigal's around. Now, the 10 of Swords looks gruesome, but it's basically reverse good news. The 10 of Swords talks about the end of a painful episode. So the bad news is behind us. And maybe the 3 of Swords says, yeah, we're going to have a scar for a little while, but it's going to be fun to pick that scab. And by the way, scars look cool. Next up, it's my friend, the Page of Wands. He's back. He says, don't forget, you got limitless potential. Tomorrow is another day. And there's people who love you all around you. And you should celebrate with them, says the 3 of Cups. Right. Celebrate every day. What's that old song from the 60s or early 70s? Love the one you're with. I never liked the song, but it's a good message for right now. And then don't forget, to have a friend, you need to be a friend, says the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is all about giving and taking. And then finally, you're going to be able to walk away from whatever bothered you before. Look, you're not even, that's a cane. That's not a crutch. I know you got hurt over there, but you're not hobbled. Not only that, you know where to go. Hey, Maria Madrigal, you inspire me, so I hope this message inspired you. Have a great day. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. All right, next up, it's Danica Crabtree. I'm so happy to meet Danica. A few cards. You got it. Hey, Tarot World. Let me introduce you to Danica Crabtree. You got a few cards for her? That'd be awesome. Thank you. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. These cards are for Danica. Danica Crabtree. Thanks for joining us here, Danica Crabtree. These cards are for you. These cards are for Danica Crabtree. Sweet. This is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to try to inspire and entertain, and if we're accurate, you know, that's awesome too. Here we go, Danica. The Justice card. All right, so I'm going to slow down a minute because the Justice card, that's like when they're introducing like your next guy up at bat. You want to pay attention. This isn't like the regular guy. This is like an all-star. This is like your team's all-star. So the Justice card, let's pay attention as he walks up to the plate. Justice, fairness, truth, clarity, equality, balance, cause and effect, law. All right, there's the Justice card. And then the law steps in, and then all of a sudden the Two of Swords says you're at a crossroads. And the crossroads energy, you know, you have to make a decision. You can feel the decision is there. You're going to go one way or the other, but you don't have all the information. The Two of Swords lady has a blindfold on. However, you know, when you do get all the information you need to make the decision, you have tools in both hands. You'll have no problem going the right way and handling the situation. A lot of times the Two of Swords reminds us to follow our intuition because you can't see, you know, everything, but your intuition can. And right now, I don't know if you're a Star Wars fan, but I'm remembering the story of Luke Skywalker on the Millennium Falcon. He and Obi-Wan Kenobi just got on board and escaped Tatooine. And then Luke is playing with the lightsaber, and Obi-Wan puts a helmet on his head and closes the blast shield so Luke can't see. So he can only fight the robotic floating droid shooting little laser zappers at him, you know, blindfolded with the lightsaber. So anyway, what I'm saying is trust your intuition. You know, Luke Skywalker knows how to do it. He's got two lightsabers in his hand. Okay, and then does this card show up in the same position every time? It's a Three of Pentacles. It's the third card, and it talks about teamwork. So, and collaboration and building something. Interesting dynamic. Cause and effect. Whatever's going on, there's going to be an effect, and there's a decision between it. Let's see if there's more of a message down here. It's the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles talks about diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, and skill development. And then the Eight of Wands, I know we're seeing the same cards. This happens all the time. I'm not even fazed by it anymore, but everyone saw me shuffle the cards. I don't know what cards I'm picking out, but here's the Eight of Wands again. The tarot card, the tarot world wants to show you this. It's the Eight of Wands. It means travel. It means flight. It also means, you know, something could be happening soon. So soon, you know, maybe you're taking a class, you're mastering a skill, maybe even the skill of expanding your consciousness, learning or practicing telepathy, practicing some other telekinetic skills. Okay. And then the Judgment talks about swapping out old energies for new energies. Judgment, rebirth, inner calling, a new phase, absolution, reckoning, awakening, redemption, forgiveness, and mercy. Let's turn over the next card before let me blend messages. Well, wow. You have a powerful lineup here, Danica. We're closing with the King of Swords, and the King of Swords talks about head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity, and authority. Look at these two sitting on their chairs. These are, again, this one's talking about truth and clarity too. From beginning to start, you're all about the truth. Doesn't matter that you can't see it all. You're working with the spirit world. You're working hard at it, and they're going to deliver to you the swapping out of an old energy and the bringing in of a new energy. Almost like, I would say, like an ego death, and bring in, you know, your choice of new ego life. Anyway, you got to like that King of Swords at the end. That tells me everything's going to be groovy. So good for you, Danica. Thanks for inviting me to read. I hope you had a good time listening. And if it was inspirational, that's wonderful too. Next up, it's Jason H., another person who gets great cards. Here we go, Jason H. Jason H. and Selena were at StarCard Podcast yesterday, watching me. I forget which video I did yesterday, or was that 2 days ago? In any case, Jason, it's always good to have you and Selena around. We got a lot of typical Skeptic Podcast family in the StarCard chat today. Here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for our friend Jason H., please? Jason H. I wonder if Jason H. did theater like when he was in high school. I know I did. I know he's got an interest in the performing arts. I'm hearing the applause from the audience now. These cards are for Jason H. Jason H. is omnipresent on the internet. I don't know how you do it, Jason. You must have Hermione's time turner. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, Jason, thanks again for coming out to the StarCard Podcast. One of my very first subscribers. Way to go, Jason. These cards are for you, Jason. The Chariot. So the Chariot talks about moving forward, but let's read what it says on the card. Movement, progress, action, integration, determination, willpower, control, direction, departure, and courage. It does talk about integration, and you see the two white and black Sphinx creatures there. It's suggesting integrating, your shadow self with your regular self as a yin and a yang, because then you're at 100%, right? When you're making it all work together. And then I just gave you a bunch of public recognition. It's the Six of Wands. It's a public recognition card. Public recognition, victory, progress, self-confidence. That's right. In a way, they're almost saying, yeah, no matter where you go, you can see Jason there. Okay, it's the 18th time we've seen the Two of Swords card today. I'm not going to explain it too much. Let's read what it says on the Two of Swords card. Difficult decisions, weighing options, avoidance, deadlock. I feel like that's not going to last long for Jason. Yeah, but when you get all the information you need, Jason, you're probably going to make the right decision because it looks like the universe is always handing you an Ace of Pentacles. Let's see what it says on the Ace of Pentacles. Abundance, manifestation, opportunity, new career or financial opportunity, new venture, and prosperity. So I'm just going to say this thought that crossed my mind. I wonder what you did in your previous lifetimes, because, again, the tarot cards keep showing me things are really groovy. So well done, Jason. We're not done, though, right? Okay, 3 more. Let's see. Let's do them all at the same time here. I like it. So the Page of Swords talks about new ways of communicating. Jason H. is on the cutting edge, as I just mentioned. He's in everybody's chat. There's cause and effect involved and justice. And when we say justice, Jason H. is what you call a moderator. He's someone who monitors the chat over at Typical Skeptic Podcast. And he's kind of like a security guard, a bouncer. So he's like the law. And, that's the big picture. It's the big picture for Jason. It's a big picture about Jason. He's involved in protecting new ways of communicating, protecting and advocating new ways of communicating and new ideas. And we love having Jason H., the King of Wands, there to support us. Way to go, Jason. Thanks a lot for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. All right. Next up, I have Sally Forth. Ooh, Sally Forth did stage crew in high school. Cool. Yeah. If you participated in theater in high school here in the United States, you might know, once you do a show together, you form a lot of bonds with the kids. And, everyone's taking a big risk. It's almost like a high dive every time when you go out on stage and you can't mess up. You got to remember your cues. All right, Sally Forth. I want to thank Sally Forth for purchasing both of my books, apparently. There's a lot of copies of my books here in California, and there's an unusual number of copies of my books in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's people out there buying my books. That's pretty cool. Thanks very much, Sally Forth, and everyone else who buys my book. You don't have to buy my book, by the way. But if you enjoy Breakaway Ray, now you have it in written form. You don't have to wait for a live podcast. These cards for Sally Forth. We got a really fun throw last week, I think. She must still be riding high. I hope so. more importantly, I hope her kids are riding high. You know, when your kids are happy, everybody's happy. All right, here we go, Sally Forth. All right, so we're going to do one card at a time. Well, the first card, one at a time. It's 7 of Pentacles. We're thinking of the long term. And I was just talking about children. Long-term view, hard work, perseverance, diligence, sustainable results, investment. You're investing all kinds of time and energy in those humans you are raising. I don't know if that's what this reading is about. But anyway, we gave the topic sentence, the first card, it's Spotlight. And now, sweet. I like how that came out. Sorry, was I speed reading? So the 10 of Swords talks about the end of a painful episode. From what little I know, I think that might be true. But also, the 9 of Wands says that we may be a little bit embattled, but we're bruised and we're better for it. And I'll even read what it says on the card for Sally Forth. Courage, persistence, test of faith, resilience. There we go. That's the word we want. Okay. You're investing a lot of your time and energy. A difficult episode is over. Okay. You're resilient. And then the 6 of Cups talks about nostalgia and making happy memories. So maybe you're entering a very happy time in your life. It's worth looking forward to anyway, right? You might as well imagine that you're walking to a happy time in your life. And so I've got my fingers crossed that there's a Sun card in here somewhere. Well, there's more work involved, says the 8 of Pentacles. You know, you may be very good at all your skills, but maybe there's one we have to develop further, or we get to develop further. Sometimes we don't realize that we're not as good at something as we think we are, even if we're like really good at something. I could tell you that I would cringe just looking at any of my Breakaway, Camp Breakaway videos from August 2025. I know I'm an even different performer now, the way I'm organized and with all my practice speaking on the internet now. Anyway, we're going to get back to work and we're going to master a skill. We're going to get even better at it. And we might even have to hide our practice. We don't have to brag about it. Let's unveil it when we're ready, says the 7 of Swords. It says use strategic planning. You know, wrap the presents when the kids are asleep so they don't know you're Santa. And then check it out. There we go. That's the 10 of Cups. It's a dream come true card. Yeah, that's right. I was hoping for a Sun card. How about a dream come true card that also tells you that the spirit world is working with you? It's probably part of your karmic plan. You probably wrote it into your plan. So I hope that you learn whatever it was you were supposed to learn here, because this says you're in the clear in that department. I think one of the laws of karma, oh boy, stand by a second. I want to get my notes. One of the laws of karma here applies. Law number 10, the law of change. History repeats itself until we finally learn. So it looks like if there was learning done, I'm going to say you accomplished the learning. I'm giving you an A+. Let's move on to the next subject, Sally Forth. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. I don't see anyone else requesting or reading. I don't see capitals or whatever. So I'll stand by a second. I'll keep an eye on the bottom corner there just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I want to thank everybody. Flix Love said I do. I got you first, Flix Love. Did you hear the reading the first time around? Anyway, it's on the recording. I think I'm still recording. Anyway, I'm going to let everyone go. Hey, thanks very much for joining me. Have a great day out there. And we're going to do our best to come out on the weekdays. And anyway, go enjoy your time with your family, everybody. That's what I'm going to do. See you later.